Hi, I'm Sarah Nicole Martin, and I'm the founder and CEO of Optimal Effect. My consultancy, Optimal Effects, supports businesses, leaders, and teams to solve problems by understanding what the real needs are, building alignment, and leveraging collective intelligence to drive meaningful action. All of the projects that I do are really customized to the context of that business or organization. And so I'll always start by sitting down with leaders to understand what's going on and what kinds of challenges they're looking to overcome. So in one example, I had an organization that was really struggling with their culture, and they wanted to build a united kind of vision for the type of workplace environment that they wanted to have. And so in this case, they're dealing with, a lot of absenteeism and people just not really committed and buying into the overall picture of the organization. And we started by understanding really what's going on. And the only way to do that is to really collect data from people, to hear their stories and to really start to get to the bottom of why things aren't working and what is working, because there's always some positives. And so by collecting that data and surfacing those kind of key insights, we could then bring those back to the whole team to say, okay, this is what you said, and here are the key themes that came up. Let's talk about it, and let's understand for you, what are the key priorities in terms of the challenges you want to solve related to your culture, and what do you want it to be like to work here? And so with a good understanding of what the challenges are, we can then work together to co-create a vision of success. And after we've got that vision, then we'll break it down into teams and departments and start to build out some action plans that people can take responsibility for the areas where they want to see improvements. So it becomes, in that case, culture becomes, instead of like a top-down, let's build a good culture, it becomes like this all-encompassing, what is the role that each of us play in building the type of work environment that we want. It's not exactly the type of career path that you just set out at, at the end of high school and say, I want to become a facilitator. But I went to school for social work and really fell in love with the group work component of things and the dynamics within groups, how we can learn from each other. And so I ended up kind of transitioning into more of an HR and organizational development space, where I learned from other people who are much more experienced than myself how to bring a group together and make the most of the many minds there to be able to make decisions and build strong alignment for moving forward. So I was really inspired by a lot of the leaders I worked alongside, and eventually decided that I wanted to start my own practice where I could really hone in on what are the strengths that I want to contribute in the world. I find that it's really important to work in the way that works the best for the client. So because of that, I'm always really ready to be flexible. And then sometimes that means fully in person or a remote, like hybrid in person and virtual. And so I'm kind of have all those tools at my fingertips to be able to work in the way that's going to be the most engaging for the clients that I'm working with. So I came to the Catalyst Commons for the first time about a year and a half ago, and I had been working at home in my bedroom for a long time. It was getting a little claustrophobic, and I had known that there was a few working spaces in town, so I checked a few of them out, and immediately Catalyst really stood out because it was just such a welcoming environment and really a beautiful and inspiring environment to be in. And I quickly found that the team here is just so supportive and engaging, and the community here is just always warm, welcoming, and ready to help each other out. So when I first started coming, I was using the hot desks, and I would just kind of drop in for a day or two here and there. And I really liked that, but I also really love my external monitors and having that set up. So it didn't take me long to decide to get a dedicated desk where I can just leave my stuff and have 24/7 access to the building. A lot of my facilitations, some of them happen in the evenings or off hours, or when I need to get my daughter after school, I sometimes want to come in really early so I can get in a full day. So that flexibility has been really helpful. The thing about being in a co-working space is that I personally didn't know I needed it until I got here. So when I was at home, I was fine, like things are great, I get a lot done, but almost like too much in the sense that I'd be so dialed in, I'd forget to take a break and go eat or drink water or do the important things because I just get so dialed into my work. So being at the Catalyst Commons and having other people around me that also have their own businesses or connected to another company here, it just like reminds me to be taking care of myself through the day when I can just have those water cooler conversations or meet other people. And I've found that it's turned into just really great networking, and I've built some great relationships here as well. If someone had never heard of co-working or never been here before, I would just say like come for a day and check it out and chat with some people in the kitchen while you're making yourself an espresso. The best way to get a feel for it is just to come and see. What I found is different about Catalyst is just how flexible and accommodating the team is here. So, I've had times in my life where I needed to be off for a couple months and I could no problem just let the team know, like, I'm gonna be leaving for a couple months, and they would just always welcome me back when I was ready to come back. And then there's just so many different types of memberships too that I think, there's a lot of options for different types of work styles and whatever's going to work best for you. If you're a leader or you're a part of a team that, you're feeling like you're just stuck on something, like things aren't maybe as productive as they could be, or, you'd like to see your team just driving better, collaborating more to make the most of everyone's experience and knowledge, I'd love to just have a conversation. Let's just kind of talk about it and see what's working for you. And I'd be happy to share some ideas about how you can really make the most of the collective intelligence you have within your organization.